Hi everyone and welcome to the Good Woo. So in this week's extended weekly woo, there was a very clear message that came through. And this is something that is going to be familiar to a lot of you, but some of you it may not be. The idea is that everything we are experiencing in our external world is actually a mirror to how we are feeling about ourself and these different aspects of self and these different parts of ourself and these different moments of our past. So I'd like to share with you guys an exercise that we can do to forgive ourselves and help heal events in our past that keep us locked in anger and resentment and hatred towards others. So I'm going to share this because I want you guys to find a picture of yourself. You may look at that. You may need to find a few different pictures of yourself. So I picked this one because this little girl, as you can see with her forced smile, was in a lot of fear and pain and experiencing an incredible amount of trauma. So what we do in this exercise, and let's start with an idea that we're working with our inner child, a young part of ourselves. So you find a picture of the young, innocent aspect of yourself. And what we're going to do is get into a meditative state. This is a great thing to do after you've meditated, when you have privacy. And you simply imagine that you are sending love and healing, support to this picture, to you when this picture was taken, to who you were when it was taken. Now, with my clients, and if you've watched any of the meditations, the heart center can be represented by a green energy or a pink energy. And the idea is that you allow that energy to beam from your heart center to this part of yourself in the photo. And you imagine them surrounded by this green, loving, healing emerald light. Or you can imagine that you're sending them pink light from your heart. And you can imagine it's like a laser beam from your heart to them, surrounding them. Now, this may go into memories that you have, and you can imagine this part of yourself walking around and existing, and that you're continually sending it from where you are now in time and space, this healing green, pink, or even whatever color comes up for you, surrounding them with it. This is time travel, and this is proven in quantum physics that we can actually change the present moment by this kind of work, and definitely change how we feel. And that's what we want to do, because we all seek relief from pain that we carry. Now that's when you're focusing on wanting to help that young, innocent part of yourself. Now, what about the part of yourself that did things that you regret, right? This idea of self-hatred and that shame is the lowest vibrational frequency a human can hold. So that's denser than hatred. It's denser than anger. Shame is the most detrimental, constricting prison that any human can experience. So when we know this, and this vibrational frequency, there is a whole scale that scientists have proved. So when we are in shame, when we are ashamed about something, when we are carrying shame, it's impossible for us to access these higher vibrational states of joy, happiness, and unconditional love, which we need to access that unconditional love so that we can forgive ourselves and everyone else, right? Because we're a collective that is going through a massive healing. And healing is only complete when we have reached states of forgiveness for ourselves and others. So what we have to work on as an individual and collective is this releasing of shame and guilt that we've held on to. So you get another picture. I mean, I don't know if I'm lucky or not lucky that I can go on the internet and find a ton of pictures of myself when I was in narcissistic states of self-protection and preservation that led me down paths that I regret and led me into decisions and actions that I deeply regret. So I have a ton of those I could look at. Find one of those photos for yourself of you when you were in a phase that you did things that you are still ashamed of and things that you still regret. And we do the same thing. We look at the picture and we send ourselves this pink, green, or whatever color energy of love. And you can even imagine yourself as you surround that past part of yourself with this energy. You can imagine you yourself now going to that part of yourself and speaking to it directly and saying, I forgive you. I forgive you for what you've done. I forgive you for making that decision. I forgive you for hurting that person. I forgive you for making these choices that led me here or there or whatever it is. You forgive yourself. And what's interesting is oftentimes when we do this kind of work, that past part of ourself will actually morph and shift in the meditation, in the image. But most importantly, what we find on the other side of an exercise like this is that we have then made space and we have released hopefully some of the shame. And the idea is that you do it until all of that shame and guilt is gone. Now, yes, that's a lofty goal. But because we know that shame is the lowest vibrational state that we can be in, can't we take the time and effort to cleanse ourselves of it? Because right now, we are in an unprecedented time on this planet where we have an immense level of cosmic energetic support to do this exact kind of work. There's like 7 planets in retrograde, not including the asteroids, allowing us to go back and reconfigure, to forgive, to let go, to restructure the past, to have a more open, expansive present moment so that we can be creating the future that we truly want. So what it will look like to these past part of ourselves is that our future self is coming in to rectify, to protect us, to save the day, to create new timelines for us. And this does change the present moment. This is quantum physics. And we're so lucky to be living in a time when we have this level of awareness. So let's use it. Now, the next thing that we can do, if you are now presently in a circumstance where you are ashamed of what you're doing now, maybe you're in an addictive cycle, that can look anything from like being in an abusive relationship to like using drugs and alcohol in a way that you know hurts your body, mind, and spirit, to being in a state of total, complete depression and apathy, not wanting to move forward in your life, not wanting to get off the couch, whatever it is that you're in right now, that you feel trapped in, that you feel shame about, that you're feeling self-hatred, you're experiencing it and don't know how to get out. There's another exercise that you can do, which is the same thing, to go into this meditative state and ask that your future self come in to help you loosen the bondage of the present moment. And in your mind's eye, you literally see the future self, the you that is healed, the you that is whole, the you that is free of the regret, remorse, shame, and guilt, come into your field of view and surround you with the gold, white, green, or pink light, whatever it is, Oftentimes, when we have this experience with our future self, they want to give us a gift or a symbol, something. Take note of what that is. And you can even ask the future self, what do I need to do now? And then listen carefully, because you will hear the message. This is also great after you do this kind of exercise to journal out what you did hear, what you did see, what your experience was like. And the more stuck you feel, the more you will want to do this kind of work to call in the future self. So this is sort of step one of this kind of work. There is another layer to this where I will share in another video, possibly next week. But right now, using pictures is a great way to let go of shame, regret, remorse, guilt, and trauma. And then to call in the future self, it brings so much hope. And you are able to connect the past, present, and future in a way that will give you a sense of trust and security in life in general. What we're aiming for is that we trust ourselves so deeply that fear has no place in our heart. But to trust ourselves deeply, we must let go of the shame and the guilt of the past. So this is a way towards that. Now, if you need help, which I know I certainly did when I started this work of releasing shame and guilt, I went to many different healers and people and therapists and coaches. If you need help, I'm here. I do sessions with people working on these exact things, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours to 30 minutes. I have a sliding scale. You can go to info@thegoodwoo.org and email me if you have questions about it. You can go to thegoodwoo.org and look at the services tab, which explains some of the sessions. And of course, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Thank you for your likes and your comments and your support. And I'm sending you all the green and pink light from my heart to surround each and every one of you as we go through this ring of fire that this solar eclipse created for all of us. That we don't have to carry the pain of the past through it. We can let it all go and truly be that higher vibrational being that we were born to be. Thank you all so much.